All access for all y'all. What the spill like back full of elite athletes that wanna teach and it speaks to the streets, so it feel right. Marcus Liberty, a legend on and off the court to give you what you need. Robert Reed is your co-host. Go. Yeah. Like and subscribe and follow like a crossover. Never know what might fall through this bitch tomorrow. So all ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All I know is all ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All I know is all ball Chicago.
Welcome to another edition of All Ball Chicago. I'm your co-host, Robert Bobby Reed, and I got the legends, the NBA veteran, the McDonald All-American, the Parade All-American, your host, Marcus living in the building. What's up, my guys?
What's up, my beautiful people?
And we got a special guest we're talking about today. She's not here, but it's like she's here because she's actually home and she did her thing last night in Chicago. Give it up for Candance Parker, baby.
Man, that was a great game, man, last night. And she definitely went in her bag. She went in her bag last night. She tried to pull that Chicago Sky team to a victory last night, man.
That was like, oh man, can we say like Michael Jordan is?
Man, dude, I've been watching Candance Parker, man, pretty much ever since she stepped in the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even in high school, I remember people telling me about her in Naperville, and everybody was telling me how cold she was. Like she can handle the ball, she can do a variety of things out there on the court. And then when you see her play, you know, when she got to college and did her thing at Tennessee, I was like, man, this girl is for real. And then it was talking about she was better than her brothers, you know, and she had brothers that played basketball. And I was like, wow. But Candance Parker, you know, I want to give her roses, man, while she's still in the game. You know, she's doing her thing. I think she should be mentioned, at least mentioned, if not the GOAT. She should be mentioned in that same category.
You know, I know we can be a little biased because we're from Chicago. We love her to death. So she should definitely be top 5 all time. Definitely. She should definitely be top 5. Put her in there with Cynthia Cooper and Lisa Leslie and pick whoever else you want. And Cynthia Cooper.
Well, they did, but they put the list out there. They had her number 9. They had her number 9 on that list. You know, they had.
Who was number 1?
I think they had Diana Taurasi number 1.
Is she number 1?
Yeah, I think they had Diana Taurasi number 1. And then they had, I think, Cynthia Cooper was high up there on that list too. But I know Lisa Leslie and them were ahead of her, and Cheryl Swoops, you know, just to name a few of those players. But I know they were ahead of her, and they had her at number 9. Number 9. But man, what the numbers was like, Bob? What was her numbers like, man? What was her numbers like?
Hold on, I just had that window open. I'm gonna go right back to it. I was just astounded by the way she took control last night, and I screenshotted them because I wanted to share them with everybody else because I know everybody else was watching. Like, she's like Michael Jordan out there.
Right.
She had 19 points. 18 rebounds. Hold on. I'm going back to it. What was it? 5 steals, 6 assists.
Wow.
I mean, she did everything last night, man.
Wow.
And I don't know that it was enough. It just wasn't enough, man. And I say this, and I'm watching them last night, and it just seemed like the other team was like, well, we can't stop Candance Parker, so we're gonna stop everybody else. What did you get from that?
Bob, I didn't get that. You know, I didn't get that. That's what they were trying to do. Stop Candance Parker. I think they knew.
No, did I say that?
I thought you said that. Did you say that?
I meant they was gonna let They knew they couldn't stop Candance Parker.
They couldn't stop.
Okay, right. I was reading something else.
Yeah, they couldn't stop her. Uh, but I knew that she was going to be ready. You know, players like that, man, who's been champions and know what it takes to win, they are always going to be ready for the big game. And she was
Mm-hmm.
ready. She was ready. I think that she didn't get to play from, her other players. The other players out there didn't help her. And I think once they go back to the video and watch this game, they're gonna see that they let that game slip away.
Yeah, they did. And I would say that if you look at that, the whole uh, the whole thing in totality, it's hard to beat a team 5 times in a row. They had already beat them 4 times in a row.
They swept them. They
They
swept them
swept.
during the regular season.
Right.
During the regular season.
And Liv, you play ball, you might have had a team's number during the season. You get to the damn hilly deal till it really counts sometimes, and they just come up and win those games, right?
Yeah, and I think both teams, I'm talking about in both divisions right now for the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
The Aces, Las Vegas Aces was favored to win, and I think the Sky was favored to win their first game. They both lost. Both teams lost. Seattle beat Las Vegas at home, and Connecticut beat the Sky at home. So both teams, got some work to do now, and we'll see that next game on Wednesday how they come out and play.
The playoffs don't start till you win on the road, right?
Man,
ain't that what they say?
Man.
Well, both games was decided. Okay, so yeah, you're right. The Aces, the Storm ended up winning 76-73, and then the Sky ended up losing 68-63. But the game was back and forth, and we got to give it up to that Suns team. That Suns team, I was thinking about their stat line because they had like 4 players that almost had double doubles.
Mm-hmm.
I got it right here.
So, Bob, check this out. I'll let you read that. Check this out. They said it's only 4 players that had 1,000 playoff points. Only 8 players have 200 playoff assists. Only 3 players have 500 playoff rebounds. Only 3 players have 100 playoff blocks. Only 2 players have 100 playoff steals. Guess who has all of them?
Who?
Candance Parker.
Wow.
Candance Parker is the only player that has all of them.
Mm.
Wow. You can't tell me that ain't the GOAT, man. You can't tell me that it's not GOAT-like. She's going out there doing it, man. She's going out there doing it. So Chicago, we got to go out and support them. I know we getting people in there. We got to go out there. We want to get another championship in Chicago.
I tell you what, man. We got that one last year. It totally shocked the world. We were shocked, right?
Right.
We didn't know she would go come here and bring that. So, of course, once you get 1, you want to get 2. I think that they got a good chance of doing it, Liv. But I'm going to tell you, man, right now, that Suns team look really, really, really good right now, man. They shouldn't be clicking on all cylinders.
Look what somebody wanted to say.
No, man, 100 years old. I don't think so.
Well, if you're gonna come up with that, right, and say that, then what was those other players looking like that she was playing against? If she was looking like she was 100 years old and she did that, she put those numbers up hammer time. If she put those numbers up hammer time, and you saying she looked like she was 100 years old, didn't cross half court, then what was those other players doing on the opposing team? Because I think she was the high scorer out there for both teams.
Right. Hey, Liv, can you go on there and make your stream public? Because it's private.
Yeah, I can do that. But yeah, man, so I just think Candance Parker, she did it in high school. She did it. She won championships in high school. She did win championships in college. She won championships in the WNBA. She won championships overseas. She's an Olympian. She won gold medals. You got to put her up there, man. You have to.
Like I say, she top 5 all time. You know, I don't want to become a prisoner of the moment and just throw her right at the top. You know how sometimes we do that? Like, it's unfair that, like, when we had an argument about Michael Jordan and all that, it's unfair to forget about the guys before him, like Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Facts.
You know, we got to put them ahead of Michael. As much as we love Michael, we got to take Jabbar. You know, you just got to do it, man. And it's another one of those situations where we slide her in there in the top 5 of all time.
Right.
And me and you was going through her stats off the line, and it's just too much to name. It was just too much to name.
Yeah. She was dominating, man, for real. She's been dominating for a very long time. And I know we want to say it's hard to pick a GOAT anyway, right? It's hard to pick a GOAT, but she's definitely got to be mentioned in that top category, right?
Yeah.
Top 5, top 10.
Steve-O Parker, Candance should be in the GOAT conversation, definitely. I agree.
That's what I said, dude. We have to look at it like that. We cannot look at it. We got to look at it. You know, she's been doing it, man. She's been doing it. And you say you want me to do this. Okay, let me edit this before you get this out so you can.
Yeah, make it public.
It's public. Yeah. So, but yeah, Lisa Leslie, you know, Cheryl Swoops, Dinah Taurasi's been doing her thing. I mean, we have to. Women basketball is fun and enjoying to watch. You know, when I watch the women play and the way they move and the way you see Candance Parker, you know, blocking shots and pushing the ball, she doesn't waste dribbles. She doesn't, you know, try to go out there and shake and bake and all that. She gets it done. She sees somebody open, she makes the right pass. She's taking the right shots when she gets down low. They double team her. She's finding an open player. I mean, she's doing it, man. And I know a lot of people who watch and says that she's getting old. Yeah, but I think
of course she's getting old. She's not going to get younger.
But she's getting it done. She's getting it done. So
when people say that's stupidity. She's getting older. Of course she's getting older.
Yeah, but she's getting it done, Bob. That's my point. Like,
right.
You know, if she starts slacking a little bit and don't, you know, get it done that way, then you could say, yeah, she needs to go ahead and sit down, you know, and retire. But she's still playing at a high level.
Right. She's been in the league since 2008. It's 2022. She's had a stellar career, but one interesting stat that we were able to dig up was the fact that she was Rookie of the Year and MVP of the league at the same time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, come on, man. You're the Rookie of the Year and MVP, and then you win the title too.
Facts.
You win the title as a rookie, and you were Rookie of the Year and the MVP of the league. Come on, man. And got the Sparks their first championship, and then did the same thing here in Chicago as soon as she touched down.
Yeah.
She top 5.
And I agree with Hammer Time too. Maya Moore is definitely in that conversation too.
Oh, my Lord. Maya Moore, top 5.
Maya Moore has to be in that conversation.
Top 5.
If she didn't retire the way she retired, she probably would be the all-time, you know, great
everything
that played in the WNBA, because she was that person that you said earlier, that MJ. She was that person.
Yeah, she was definitely that person.
So Hammer Time, you right on point with that one. All right, so let's get to some of the comments now.
Okay. Let me go back down. So
no, here you go. Right here, it's on the board.
Okay. Candance Parker then came back and sank the game-winning layup in Dundee Crown Holiday Tournament after the game. She dunked in. It was obvious she was a star. I'm always amazed at how a lot of people like Randall, what's up, boy? Like, they be at these games, man. Like, they be remembering, like, man, I remember when Liv did this and all that. Randall McFarland, I was in the gym when she dunked in her high school game. She is extremely longer in person. I agree, tall. Oh man.
See, and now we got another one too. Look, that's in another country.
Soon the European Championship for the national team is basketball. The favorite one, Slovenia 2, France, Serbia 3, Greece 4, Lithuania 5. The European stars of the NBA are coming to the championship. Oh, okay.
All right, that's in a whole another country right there, Bob. We in now right now.
Thank y'all for tuning in over there, man, to All Ball Chicago. Man, we always appreciate people checking us out, man. And me and Liv, we've been doing this for about 2 years, Liv. How long the show?
Yeah, probably longer than that.
Kevin Hayward. You always come with good ones, Kevin, man. Maya, Cynthia Cooper, Diana Taurasi, out of Ghost. Candance is right there. Okay.
Well,
Can't argue that.
Yeah, but you got to put who's the other person? You got to put Lisa Leslie up there too somewhere. You know, Lisa Leslie did her. Lisa Leslie did her thing too, man. Out there on that court.
Do you ever see the day when a woman will be playing in the NBA?
Well, they had it. I can't think of the lady's name. They talked about her. She got a tryout with the Indiana Pacers and actually made the team, but it was something with the contract, and then she bailed out on it. Yeah, she made the team. She was going to play for the Indiana Pacers.
Wow. That would have been crazy, Joe. Could you imagine? Because I think everything is about evolution. Now, I don't know if women will ever be able to play football with men, but you know that's be yet to be seen.
And it's like you said with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, how people forget about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and not mentioning him. What about Cheryl Miller? Right. Cheryl Miller, they tell me Cheryl Miller was a bad girl. I mean, I think she scored 100 points in a game.
She did.
And because Reggie Miller was, talking about it one time, talking about he came home and scored so many points and he was so happy. And his sister looked at him like, guess what I did today?
Right.
He was happy he scored
one damn game. Like, what the heck just happened, man?
Right. So he was like, she just overshadowed me right there. So all right, here's that top 10 list that I was talking about, Bob. Okay. They have number 1. So you hear me listen to this. Number 1 is Diana Taurasi.
Okay.
Yeah, they got Diana Taurasi number 1. They got Tamika Catching number 2. They have Maya Moore, number 3. Lisa Leslie, number 4. Cynthia Cooper, number 5. Sue Bird, number 6. Cheryl Swoops, number 7. And then at the 8th spot, they have Candance Parker.
Well, you can. I mean, those lists for me is all barbershop talk. It's just good talk to just talk. But you gotta put it out there, man. It's just unfair sometimes. You leave people off those lists, Liv.
Right.
So
right.
It's just good barbershop talk. I think that Candance is definitely, in my opinion, if we're gonna line everybody up at their peak of their game, she's top 5.
Right.
That's just my take on it, man. All time. So
number 10 was Lauren Jackson. And the number 9 was Sylvia Fowles. Yeah, man. So I'm with everybody on this one. Like Cheryl Miller should definitely be mentioned top 5. She should be in the top 5 to me.
Cheryl Miller too.
Cheryl Miller should be in top 5.
Oh, no question, man.
But then what's the lady? What's my girl who coaching in the Big 3?
Lisa Leslie.
No, not Lisa Leslie. The other one. I think they lost in the championship game. and she's from New York. What's her name, dude? Come on, Bob. Come on, Bob, man. Come on, man. Our listeners know.
I saw Lisa Leslie coaching in that.
Lisa Leslie was coaching, but it was another female coaching, and she played. She kind of set the tone for what's to come in basketball for the women, and they had her as the Magic Johnson of women basketball.
I'm gonna put it up.
She's coaching in the Big Three.
Nancy Lieberman.
There you go, Nancy Lieberman. She was a bad girl, man. Like,
Right.
and she did her thing, you know.
Right.
And they said she was the Magic Johnson of women basketball.
Right.
You know, Becky Hammond, yeah, she's coaching the Las Vegas, Aces team, and she was coaching, men and the men with San Antonio Spurs. So women basketball has definitely, arrived, but I still think they're not getting enough.
But
enough.
it's with progress. They starting to really cut. That game was packed last night. Them games be packed, Lid. They packing them in now. They starting to get more popularity now because they play a lot like the guys. Like the guys, they all play the same now. Everybody play the same. People not getting dunked on no more, Lid. It's all jumpers.
But Bob, do you think it's fair across the board? I'm saying they doing it on the pro side, but why are we not talking about them a lot on that high school side? We always hear something about some of the boys on the boys' side being ranked nationally and this and that, even though they do it on the women's side, but it's not talked about a lot.
Yeah, man, that's because, like you always say, man, it's not sexy. It's like they're not dunking the ball. The physicality, they want to brute. But now, like I say, the game, the men's game is finesse. So it makes it easier to be able to adapt to watching females play because they finesse too. But they're a little bit more fundamentally sound because they don't have in athleticism, they make up for with the cerebral game.
Yeah. But it's a lot of them that are. I can't think of the young lady. Kevin, help me out. What's the young lady with the sky? She's real athletic. She had a birthday. She didn't have her best performance the last game, but she's super athletic. And I think if she comes to play this next game, and Vandersloot, she comes and play, I think the sky will prevail.
Let me put up what Vandersloot do while we talking about the numbers of.
There we go. I knew Kevin was gonna come through with the name.
There we go.
Kevin always comes through, man. Kevin says he's a season ticket holder for the Sky, and Kevin is always on point.
Kevin, what happened with Vandersloot last night?
You saw the game. She was shooting. She shot some air balls, man.
She ain't had no legs.
I don't know what happened with she shot a couple of air balls. That team that they played last night, though, Bob, Connecticut was physical.
That's what I was saying, and they had size.
They were playing real physical with the Sky girls, and Candance was holding her own. I think they need to just go back and look at the video and see. We got to push the ball. When they have that bigger team out there, they must push the ball. They got to outrun them.
You brought something to my attention. So Vandersloot, I don't watch it a lot. I don't watch WNBA female sports as much as I should, but I watch it when they get out to the grind. And you say Vandersloot is married to a lady on the team?
Yes.
That got to be the first in professional sports history. You know what I'm saying? For somebody to be married on the same team. You come to work, you be like, man, I don't even like talking to this kid. You know how you be into it with your spouse sometimes? You be like, man, I got to go to work with this man.
Yes, she's a 3-time, Quigley, yes. She's a 3-time or 4-time NBA 3-point champion, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, they kidding. Oh, wow, that's good, man. I see. Oh, she's from Seattle. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, it's an interesting dynamic, and we get a chance to see basically with the social media and all these sports, we're getting to see a revolution there, and it's being televised.
Well, I mean, this is the society we live in now. Everything is, pretty much put out in the open,
Hmm.
So, uh, what could be a good thing, especially when you're going through some difficult situations of getting backlash from different organizations and whatnot, and people, want to stand up for what's right. Now you got an opportunity to do that because of all of the social media outlets that we have now.
Right. Yeah, man. It's a good and bad, and that's just like with anything. I was watching. I'm gonna get off a little bit off subject because we always do that sometimes. But I was watching the Malice in the Palace last night. I've seen it
Hmm.
before, but I got to watch it. Every time you watch it, you see something different.
Right.
And Jermaine O'Neal, he alluded to the fact that athletes like you yourself, if people got in the media during the times when you guys were playing, you couldn't fire back because you didn't have a platform.
Right.
So he said there was so many stories being told about the Malice in the Palace. Why were they the only ones to lose money? Why did they lose money? Because they were in
Hmm.
the stands. David Stern, he laid a firm hand on them. He was like, he was not okay with that. Like, why did they have to miss the entire season for somebody throwing something on them? You know what I'm saying?
Because
So
they had to appease the higher ups, the people who's paying their monies to come to them games. They thought that maybe those fans wouldn't come again. So the best way to probably squash this was, let me go ahead and suspend these guys. Right? Was that
yeah,
the right thing to do? Probably not.
in hindsight, right?
You
But then
know.
the media was calling them thugs. So that's just how far we wasn't removed. How far we haven't been removed from those names. These guys are thugs. They hoodlums. They wild, and and it's just like we got to get the narrative just has to be changed. That's all.
Well, they have the opportunity now. I mean, they can tell their own story right now. Actually, matter of fact, they can come on All Ball Chicago and share that story of what really went down. What really went down at the Palace. Was that guy edging them on? In the stands, and some of them got fed up and went in and did what they did. But I, me personally, man, I think the NBA should have. I think they did. I think they banned him. I don't think he was a season ticket holder anymore. I think they did get rid of him. But you don't hear that. They don't talk about that as much.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. That's what I'm saying, man. When it come down to us, it was just overblown, and I got like I said, I got a chance to watch it again last night, and I just saw how the narrative has always been pushed on us.
Hmm. Hmm. So you watch that. That I remember that, and I'm like, whoa, what's happening? And they went up there and handled their business.
Man, and me and you've been. I think we've been sitting on documentaries. We both been watching documentaries, man. And this might be a little bit off subject, but me and you grew up. I like to go deep too sometimes, right? So both
Right.
of us come up in the urban community,
Right.
and they were talking about how crack affected the community. I saw a show on Netflix called Crack. It's off subject, and how we as people are still reeling from that. How we're not out of the water, Liv, because that was just 20 years ago and kids are still being affected by that. You saw it firsthand just like I did. Can you talk a little bit about what you've seen? And this is off subject, but we want people to know that we live in privilege right now. Me and Marcus, we both was able to get out of it. But can you talk about how hard it was when you saw it down there in the projects? Because I know what I saw in my hood.
Yeah. When the drugs started hitting our communities and hitting it real hard, it wasn't just hitting like the average person. It was getting basketball players. It was getting baseball players. It was hitting football players. It was hitting everybody in that community. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the strong ones survived, but the ones that was already doing and dibbling and dabbling in some of that already, some drugs, it kind of hit. And when it hit, it kind of trickled down to that younger generation. And now the parks, you were scared to go play at the parks because there's drugs being sold out there in the parks, and gangs started to make money off of the drugs. Now the drugs is really swallowing up your community, and now the sports is going downhill. And when I remember, watching, people in my neighborhood become addicted to this drug that was crack cocaine at the time, people were starting to just walk and look like zombies outside, and it was, I was afraid because I didn't know what was going on because I never used drugs.
Right.
And my father and my mom played a big role in that, and I had an older brother who, who used, drugs, and I just didn't want to be a part of that.
But you said something key in that, Leo. I want you to go back to that.
Go ahead.
You said zombies. Because we come from an era when the community was together, barbecues outside, and then we saw zombies, right?
Yeah, man. I'm saying you saw this guy one way, this way, and he's cool, calm, and doing his thing. And then the next time you see him, he's like looking up and scratching, and his lips are all, and you're like, what's going on? This is the same dude I saw 2 days ago. He was straight.
Yeah.
And now he's not, and that messed up our community, man, with the drugs and alcohol. I'm not just going to say, drugs was the main factor, but the alcohol, we had a lot of alcoholics, in our neighborhood. We had a lot of people that, I think wanted to be right. But when that was in your community and you don't have the jobs and you don't have, the means to better yourself because what's in your community, I mean, everybody can't play basketball.
Right.
Everybody can't play a sport, So when you put that in your community, it dilutes it. And now you wonder what's next? What can we do? What can we do to better our community? And when that happened, it was tough, man. And that wasn't just in Chicago. You can look at that all across the board in the United States. LA had it. New York had it. I mean, you can, Chicago, I mean, Detroit, every city, pretty much was affected by, crack cocaine.
And then another thing we can always allude to too is that there were 20 to 25-year-long people that stood up on the corner and begged for change every day just to get a beer, just to do this, bomb, money, change all day. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Remember how people used to be up on the corner, man, by the liquor store, man? You go past there, you going to school in the morning. They'd be up there 20, 30 years doing that.
And the crazy thing about it, Bob, we didn't have major grocery stores in our neighborhood. So the liquor stores was the place that I'd go get my cookies. If I want to eat some cookies, I'm going to the liquor store. So you're going to run past them. You're going to go past those type of people every single day.
Every single day, man.
So my question was it a setup, for us to stay down, not ever uplifting us because of the environment we were in? And a lot of people don't understand that, because if you never lived in the hood, you don't understand what was actually in the hood, and it was a lot of things that we couldn't fight. We couldn't get out, because if we go to the grocery store, we got to get in a car and we got to go away to another neighborhood. And most of us didn't have cars, so we had to get on a bus with shopping carts, and that wasn't right. We couldn't make that happen. So we had to go shopping pretty much at the corner liquor store.
It was a term I learned in school. It was called osmosis. And osmosis is the things that you can't avoid because it's a part of your environment. So you ultimately become what you are in your environment, your environment. So you can't avoid it. You're going to pick something up from it.
No.
And the most important piece that we were able to have was the people whose parents didn't get off into the drugs and stuff like that. We had a firm home when we went in that house and that door closed.
Right.
But everybody didn't have that. So I just wanted to dive off into that, man, because I was watching that special. We were talking about documentaries, and I was like, wow, man. It was like everybody was balling out of control, and it was just that one big trend. It kind of reminds me of what hip hop is today. That drug game that we grew up in, it looks like the rappers are the new drug dealers right now. And nothing against rap. I just think that when you have a microphone and you can touch millions and millions of people and you spewing out stuff like that, it affects people, man.
Right.
And especially when you're young, we're impressionable. You got up on there and did a rap song for my era. Okay, Robert, I gotta ask, looking back, why in the Warriors series did you say Steph Curry and Klay Thompson couldn't mess with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? You wasn't drunk. But can y'all go back and check out my last comment below? Thanks. Great show, fellas. Well, Hoop Baller Scoop, you're right. I did say that, and I still to this day felt like Jason Tatum and my man Jaylen Brown, they tucked their tails. While I did feel like Steph Curry and them played better basketball than them, the big guys, man, all they had to do was punish them. That's all they had to do. And where I come from, if I'm 6'8", if I'm 6'9", and I got them them dudes on me, I'm telling my man, set a screen, whatever, I'm finna go to this bucket and I'm finna get an and one. I'm talking about from where I come from. I'm not settling. I got Steph Curry on me on the switch. I don't care. They're gonna have to send a double every time because I'm putting his little ass in the basket. Okay, what's the next one? All right. Fellas, a question. What player from the past does Candance Parker remind you of? She's a 6'4" big that got handles and can throw dimes, and of course, she's a monster rebounder. She's easy on the eyes. She's like the perfect superstar. But if you could answer this,
6'4". I mean, I see a little KD. I do see a little bit of that KD because she can shoot the long ball. She got good handles. I think she may be a better passer. I'm just gonna say a better passer than KD, but I see a little bit of that. I see a little bit of KD. I mean,
he said from the past though.
Oh, from the past.
This what kind of player from the past do she remind you of?
From the past, man, that's not playing no more.
What was my man name that played with
Because I can't say Magic.
Seattle.
Who? Sean Kill?
Rashad Griffin. What was his name? Rashad.
Yeah. Rashad Lewis.
Rashad Lewis.
Yeah, that's who she remind you of, Rashad Lewis.
Nah.
6'4". Man, I'm thinking of current. I can see, KD, but in the past, male or female, who she reminds us, or is he talking about just females who she reminds us of? That's what I don't. Maybe he got to, let me know.
He said, well, if he said she's easy on the eyes, then he got to be talking about a female. So
yeah. He just said,
okay.
He said, my fault. I meant the past females. Do she remind you of past female?
Which one did I like the most back in the days? I really didn't. I'm gonna let Liv have this from you. Who balled?
Yeah, no, it could be Cheryl Miller. I mean, it could be Cheryl Miller.
Yeah, my man said APAC. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. He said Cheryl Miller. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it could be Cheryl Miller. Wow, that's a good one though. Hoop Baller Scoop. Or he said, is she one of a kind?
Well, yeah, man. We can't help it.
So that's a good one.
Yeah, man. It's always, we're going to always want to draw comparisons. We got to do that.
Yeah, there you go, Kevin. Kevin came in. Candance is unique in every way. That makes her so special. Remember, her previous team benched her in the playoff. Wow.
Didn't know that. She's the only player in WNBA history to sweep MVP and Rookie of the Year honors in the same season. I mean, that was like Magic Johnson did that year, but he wasn't the MVP of the league, though.
Well, Aaron Foster is still talking about the crack cocaine.
We can dab back. We can go back.
Here he goes. He said, YouTube, Rick Ross. The real Rick Ross, not the one that's rapping. The CIA brought in the coke and should be under lawsuit. That's what he put out there.
Hey, you know what? I watched that. And the real Rick Ross, he was on that documentary. And it was right. The president of the United States, at that time, and the one that we got right now, like one of the people said, how can y'all catch somebody and lock them up for stealing a loaf of bread, but you can't stop, all this stuff from coming into the neighborhood? It was set out there like that, man.
Right.
And he was with one of the that Mexican cartel. I forget the name of it. Somebody put that up there. So Venezuela or something. He was going over there to them people getting that stuff.
Right.
What's your thoughts on Charles Barkley going off on KD saying he has never led a team? One thing about Charles Barkley, he always talking out of turn. Charles Barkley's turn, in my opinion, Charles Barkley is only as good as his last comment.
Wow. Charles Barkley has a right to his opinion, right? But that doesn't mean it's right. I think Kevin Durant has been doing his thing, on the court, playing the game he loves. So sometimes, people, and that's why I always say when you put a mic in front of someone and they have just went through something on that court, whether that's a loss, they're going to say some things that we might not like. That's why I always say the media knows what they're doing. So when they're watching the game and they see something and they put that mic in your face, they're expecting an answer,
Yeah.
And I was always taught, through Dick Vitale, don't think about what they're talking about. Think about something you want to share with people. Because when you start thinking about what they're trying to say, and maybe something that they want to get, out to sell more newspapers or get more likes and clicks, then you have to be very careful what's going to come out your mouth, especially when you're upset and angry.
But that's the best time when they ask you. And
that's what I said.
They got those trick questions they ask y'all to let they live.
That's what I said. So that's why you got to go back to what you remember when you started playing basketball. This is what I want to talk about. You answering that question. Yeah, I hear you, but this is what I want to talk about. So you flip the script.
Mm-hmm. But I've been doing a lot of that soul searching and doing all that research and all that. And it's important to always think before you speak and always stay calm and don't never be in a rush before you speak or do anything. Think it through and rethink it through.
Right.
I was just finna say that. That year, the Golden State won all those games, went 73-9, and lost to LeBron and them. KD came over there, and he did lead that team.
I can agree with you on that, Bob.
Because when Kyrie got hurt that year against them that first year, Cleveland was finna beat them.
Right.
So every year, then Chris Paul got hurt the next time. So they had a lot of luck, man, going through them doing playoffs in the East Coast a lot of times. That Golden State Warrior team, and you need that. They were good, but
well, you have a guy like KD, and you put him with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. It makes their job much easier. Think about it, because now you got 3 elite scorers. Right. And I'm going to say 2 of them really is that elite scorer. Klay Thompson can shoot the lights out, but he wasn't putting that ball on the floor and going to the rack like that. I mean, he was getting fast breaks and dribbling and shooting layups. But I'm talking about who can create their own shot. Those 2 guys, Steph Curry and KD, they can create their own shots. So they was getting Klay Thompson wide open for threes and doing all. I mean, they need that. They need that. I mean, for us to sit here and say KD is not a leader, because of the things that you're hearing and seeing, now doesn't mean he's not a leader. I just think he has to find the right fit for him to just say, you know what, this is my team. When you get traded and you get to new teams and you got different people, different organization members, and people wanting to say, I got Kyrie was there first, and who team is it? Is it KD? Is it Kyrie? Now you got Ben Simmons thrown in the mix. Is it Ben Simmons? Then you had at one time you had all three of them, James Harden, KD, and Kyrie. So it's got to come from up top of who this team is, who team is it, and then we have to let everybody else fall into place. It's like when Kyrie was with Cleveland when he got drafted and LeBron was gone. Kyrie was the man, when he got drafted and LeBron was gone. And then they bring LeBron back. They basically said it's LeBron team, and Kyrie felt some kind of way, even though Kyrie was taking most of the big shots in the big games.
Right, and you know what, man? That's the thing that I hate most about professional sports, when they get to saying it's my team, your team, my team, your team. Guess whose team it is, Marcus? It's the owners.
Right.
And I think these guys get too far in their head and they risk. Like, I know for a fact that LeBron and Kyrie hate they ever broke up. I know for a fact that Shaq and Kobe hate they ever broke up. It's just certain things that you just know in basketball that that these guys look at it like, I should have never left that team. Well,
why don't girls do that? Why women basketball don't do that?
I imagine they probably do.
Well, it's not in public, huh?
Right. We probably don't, because we're not so entrenched into knowing what, have they even tried to team up? It may become a trend.
I'm just saying, Bob, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm saying why we don't never hear is Candance Parker a leader, or did Cheryl Swoop, become a leader? You never hear these conversations come, from the women's side. Why is it always the men or people always talking about the men's side of basketball and not the women as much? Women probably have the same thing, right? They just probably, like you said, it's probably squashed behind closed doors. Nah, we don't need to get into that.
It's always, and let me not say that. I'm not gonna say that.
Please don't say nothing, man. Just gonna get us.
No, because it's not gonna be like, I was gonna just say, because if you're having those issues with men, you know damn well you're having those issues with women.
That's Kevin got a good point, because I remember watching that game. Skylar Diggins and Diana Taurasi did get in a heated moment while they were playing the basketball game, and they came to the bench and they had to get separated, because those are two leaders. Yeah, those are two leaders that didn't want to give up the reign to each other, and I think Skylar was, winning, championships, and Diana was winning championships in college. And I think they on the same team, and they look like, no, this is my show. No, I'm a guard. No, it's my show. And I think they butted heads.
Yeah.
Kevin, you're right. Kevin, look at Kevin be all over the place, don't he?
Hey, man, he's a consummate statistician. This dude, he got his numbers, man. He got his numbers right. And that's one good thing about female women's sports.
Well,
it's starting to really grow.
Look at your boy.
Hey, I don't know now. Even though, like we talked about early on, when Golden State Warriors had that fantastic NBA season, then Kyrie and LeBron came back and put them out. That hurt, because they was trying to flirt with the championship Chicago Bulls, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it.
Well, it's like this, Bob. When I hear comments like that, and they say he can't win a championship, didn't they say that about Mike Jordan?
Mm-hmm.
They said that about Mike Jordan, that he will never win a championship, and this and that. And then Scottie Pippen came along, Horace Grant came along, then he got the pieces together. Sure, we knew that was Michael Jordan's team, but he still need other people to step up to win championship. So we can have Kevin KD thrown anywhere, put him on any team, right? That don't have no other players, and he's leading because some people think of leading as you being a scorer, you doing this, you rebounding and whatnot. But if you don't have the right pieces, you're not going to win anyway. So he needs the right pieces around him to win. Michael Jordan had to have the right pieces around him to win. LeBron James have to have the right pieces to win. Yeah. Klay Thompson has to have, Steph Curry had to have the right pieces for Golden State to win.
And you and I going to win. It's a team sport. They try to put it on one player all the time.
All the time, man. All the time.
It's a team sport, and you need at least 10 people. You need them guys to come off that bench and get them boys a breather. They play 82 games, man. That's a lot of basketball.
Right. That good one for you, Bob.
The Warriors lose because Draymond Green got suspended. Did that cause the Warriors to lose momentum? You know what? I'm not one to believe in momentum so much. I just believe that good basketball players will find a way to win, and it's just the fact that Kyrie and LeBron just put up that 40-40 on them. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie had 40, Bron had 40, 16. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said early on, all I saw Jalen Tatum and Jalen Brown had to do was put Curry in the high screen and roll and punish him.
No.
That's all Kyrie and them did.
And it didn't happen.
Because I love Curry, but he's a defensive liability. Everybody knows this.
Right. Everybody knows but the other team.
But the other team. Everybody knew that but Boston. Boston got punch drunk, didn't they?
But they tried it, remember? They tried to put your boy in the post on them. They didn't put him off the screen, but they tried to put Marcus Smart in the post against that.
That was the role move.
And I think that took them out of their rhythm.
That take you out of your rhythm. No.
Yeah,
but it's just a game of streaks, man. And the better team won. Because after Boston saw, hey, we beat them on the road at their house that one game, I think we can get them, you know?
Right.
And change the whole tide of the playoffs. But Liv, you say, who gonna win this year?
I said Denver, man. I said Denver.
They just gave your boy Jokic. You see how much money they just gave that man?
They gave him a big bag.
He the highest paid NBA player in NBA history right now. $246 million, man, for 4 years.
That's a bad boy though, man. You got to give it to him. He can play.
That's $60 million a year, something like that.
Man, I wish I was in this era.
Ooh, I know you do, boy. I can see your. Hey, Liv, they gave you. You could have got you about 50 million a year right now.
Man, though. But you know what, man? Man, that's what they doing, man. These cats getting them bags, man. They getting them big bags.
And rightfully so, man. They've been hiding the money anyway, man. The league been getting that money, man. Them stands been packed. Them beers been $8 for a cup.
Apak said Milwaukee and the Greek Freak will win it back.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that. Because, each year, like the title been getting passed around. Ain't no back-to-backs.
Right.
Back to the women for a second. The Houston Comets won the first 4 championships, and Cheryl Swoops and Cynthia Cooper had huge beefs with each other. They set it aside to win. Oh, yeah, man. They won the first 4 at the beginning of the league. We're going to kind of put them in the Boston Celtics category of the game. What no other teams in there? Nah, just kidding.
They only had 8 teams back then.
They only had 8 teams back then. No, they you know what? It's impossible for guys to be successful if you don't bump heads. I mean, that's
Monty Williams says the finals will be the Brooklyn Nets against the Warriors, if both healthy. What do you think?
No, I think it'll be. I think it's gonna be the Clippers. It's gonna either be the Clippers or the Lakers in the finals this year, for sure. For sure, one of them two gonna be in there for sure, because they owe it to LA. The Clippers especially, because remember they were bringing them all over there. Paul George now, they finna win. And
So
then
what you think about this though, Bob? The Lakers. Remember we talked a little bit about it, but I want to hear your input.
okay,
Patrick Beverly came out publicly and says if he's with the Lakers, where they going? What did he say?
they going to the Western Conference Finals.
That's what he said. So what do you think about that? What did he put added pressure on the Lakers now
Well,
to get them?
Well, one thing they do have is Darvin Ham. Darvin Ham, what was he? He was a junkyard dog type player. He wasn't no offensive guru. So he went and got somebody closer to his personality, right? He needed that. He went and got a dog. And Patrick Beverly sold himself. So American kids, if you watching this, you go on TV and you tell the team if they had you. Because he said they live if they don't get there, what's going to happen?
Yeah, man. They're gonna play that all over. I mean, if he don't get them to that Western Conference final, I like his confidence. I mean, I love the confidence, but you got to back it up now. You have to back it up now because it's out there. It's on every social media outlet and on ESPN. All these Stephen A. Smith, they all have the sound bite. So when it comes back around and them Lakers are not in the Western Conference final, you're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it. I was a Laker fan. Did you hear that? I said I was when my man Kobe Bryant left, man, because I was Kareem, Magic, James Worthy, all Byron Scott. I love the Lakers. That was my team. When in this generation, man, I just like certain players now.
Me too.
I don't have a certain team that I just would ride with.
I think, though, this year I'm going to be watching a lot of basketball, man, because especially in the pros. I agree, man, because one thing, like we talked about it the other day, nobody's willing to get in LeBron's face and tell him, man, no, move, dude. No. You know what I'm saying? Like Patrick Beverly, and then LeBron liked them tough guys. That's what made Rondo so successful with playing with LeBron. He was able to wave him off. Bron needs somebody that can wave him off. Other than that, he's nonstop. He'll beg for the ball 24/7. So I think Patrick Beverly can mix that up a little bit and get everybody else to not be kissing up to Bron so much. Like, I love Bron, but I think that his teammates just don't stand up to him at all.
But do you need
LeBron?
Okay, you just named the defense. LeBron can play, some offense. What about the recipe? To have this championship formula, you need shooters too, right?
Yeah, you definitely need shooters.
Who's going to be that knockdown shooter, Bob?
That's a good question, man. It's interesting because one thing about the Lakers, they always find a way to get somebody there. We got Kendrick Nunn. He's still there. He can stretch the floor. And I know Kendrick Nunn's been working,
right.
He's been in the league for a minute. So he's a consummate pro. So, and he was shooting well in Miami. So he got all that built up in him too.
But is Kendrick Nunn a scorer or a shooter? I'm talking about John Paxson. I'm talking about Steph Curry. I'm talking about somebody that can get you that big basket when they double team and LeBron and this and that. I think he could be that, but you're not going to just get by with one.
Right. Did they get rid of Monk?
I don't know if they re-signed him or not.
I'll pull it up.
And my man said he can name Hoop Ball Scoop said I can name 6 teams out of the West. They behind. Name them. Name them.
That the Lakers behind?
Yeah. Name them.
For one thing, you can't get Phoenix because CP3 always get hurt every year. And I love CP3. But he can't get to the finish line. And then I like Golden State. I mean, I like the Clippers. And I'm saying the Clippers, but is Kawhi Leonard going to play all the way? He's another one.
that is a sleeper team though out of the West, definitely. When he's playing, that boy can play, man. When he's
Who?
out there balling, Leonard.
I know, man. And I know he's hurt. And they got to take care of their bodies first, because that's your job, playing ball.
Who
You
Baller
got to
Scoop
take care of
said
your
Monk is gone. He's with the Sacramento Kings. Monk is
Oh,
gone.
wow. I know he's
Taylor
glad.
Taylor Tucker is gone.
I know Taylor glad, too.
See, my man Chris Hill, he's with me. Chris Hill just said, "Look out for Denver." I said it too. Murray is back, baby. Murray is back.
Okay.
Murray was scary when he was healthy, man.
Oh, man, in that bubble.
Come on, man. He was
In that
scary.
bubble, he was unstoppable.
He was scary, man. So he's back. He's gonna be back. And
He
I
been
think,
off a whole year too, right?
yeah, I think they kept him out 2 years because he got hurt. Man, I'm just telling you, Bob. Watch out for Denver. You heard it from me first.
They got the. Did he win MVP back to back? Is this his second one? Jokic.
I know he won one for sure.
Who won MVP last year?
And we forgot about Michael Porter, Junior too over there. If his health is right,
Lord, man.
I mean, he was putting up some numbers.
Oh man, the size of that boy.
Yeah, see, it was almost
God.
2 years, right? It was almost 2 years. Chris just told me it was almost 2 years that Murray was out. I thought that was right. So he's got enough time to get rest. I mean, hopefully he can get back in the swing. I'm pretty sure he's been doing some pickups. Not a lot of pickup ball, but a lot of conditioning type drills to get back into the game shape. All right, who Baller Scoop said, here's the teams, Bob, that he says that Warriors, Clippers, Suns, Nuggets, Mavs, Memphis. Think about the Lakers missing the play in games.
Right.
Warriors, Clippers, Suns, Nuggets, Mavs, Memphis. Those are the teams that he said will be ahead of them.
Well, we know the league shifts every year. We know that. And I'm going to take Golden State and I'm going to slide them right there where Memphis is. I'm going to take the Clippers and put them at the front of that, put Memphis right behind them, and put the Mavs behind them. And then we can go from there. Because Golden State ain't gonna dominate again this year. They not. They gonna make it in there. No, they're not gonna dominate this year. People tired of them. They tired now. Everybody tired. They got their one. I don't think the Golden State will get another NBA title.
Whoa. Now I think Golden State gonna still be decent. I think they're gonna still be in that top half, right? I think they're gonna be in that top half. And the reason why I say that because those young boys that they got over there are some pretty damn good basketball players. Mm-hmm. And we haven't even seen James Wiseman with this group yet. So we want to see what he brings to the table. He's 7 foot, can handle the rock, dunk, sky hooks, all that. So I want to see young fella with this group and see what's out there really. Once we see them all together, healthy, let's see what Golden State looks like. Because now you put Draymond Green back to his natural position.
Yeah, they're going to always be in the hunt. I just think the league is getting so young now, and you got Ja Morant and them who was on their heels last year till they need him in the thigh. So they pulled his thigh and messed him up.
Oh, man.
I mean, they had just beat him by 35 or something. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Them doggone Golden State Warriors, you got to be lucky to win the title. Got to be successful. I mean, work hard too, but
it's a lot of luck behind it, huh, Bob?
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah, man.
Everything got to line up perfectly, man. And it was just right for them this year. Steph, man, I'm glad he got that monkey off his chest as far as him not being an MVP of the finals. He couldn't have did it with KD. KD was the man. Like, don't forget Wiseman is a great rim protector too. Yeah, man, that dude is huge. But when is he going to get on the floor?
Also,
I
Bob,
never seen him play.
Before we get up out of here, man, we gotta play, condolence to my man, Sweet Charlie Brown, man. He was on our show. He actually blessed us with a lot of knowledge and talking about the DuSable days and how they got cheated downstate. So, man, to his family, we give our condolences to you. Great man, mentor, great player, Chicago legend for sure. I got a chance, an opportunity to actually meet him many, many times. And I didn't know who he was when he was refereeing my games back in the day until my uncles and my dad pulled me to the side and said, man, you don't even know who that is refereeing your game. And I was like, no, I just know he's tall and skinny. And my dad and my uncle said, no, man, that's DuSable's. That's one of DuSable's greats right there, Sweet Charlie Brown. And then I started talking to him, even though him and my high school coach, I don't think they saw eye to eye. He would always pull me to the side and talk to me, Sweet Charlie Brown. Man, you will be missed. Rest in peace, my man.
We'll leave it at that, man. Sweet Charlie Brown, man. To you and your family, rest in peace, big guy. Your boy, Bobby Reed. Peace.
And I got the legend. That's Bobby Reed. I got the legend.
I told them dudes out there, if anybody wants some of this smoke, boy, y'all sure wasn't talking when I was acting, boy. Now everybody doing all this talking. All right, man.
Y'all hear my man. Bobby Reed will meet you at any location, drop that Addy, and he coming at you. He coming at you. He want to play one-on-one against anybody. He wants that smoke. So
I want it, man.
Want to challenge my man Bobby Reed to a one-on-one game. First 1 to 5 wins by ones.
Hey, but you got to buy a culture from me for me to come play you. So you swing over to the website and get one of the devices. I'll play anywhere.
My man. It's been a good one, man. Everybody stay safe. Keep watching. Keep looking out for All Ball Chicago. We love you all.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching.
Chicago, All Ball, Chi-Town.